particular video that I want to do is actually want to be a group policy video. And what we want to do in this video is actually show you how to actually import a ADMX file into your Active Directory configuration so that you can actually start to configure and control some variables with software that might not have been previously able to be managed before. And with this particular feature, and being able to import configurations for group policies for settings, it will allow us to actually be able to import and distribute a browser into our domain setting, and that browser will be Google Chrome. Google Chrome obviously is probably the most popular browser nowadays. Now, in terms of its its core functionality, its ability, its speed, it's just preferred nowadays, and it has a lot of great features which enterprise users may prefer over using when it comes to browsers such as IE or Firefox. They kind of fell behind Chrome, and they've been trying to catch up, and Chrome is pretty much the best one out. So let's pretend that in our particular environment, we've got to go to be able to go ahead and implement and actually serve out Google Chrome as our new official browser for our users. Well, how do we manage that? How do we make sure it's secured? How do we make sure that we can set group policy and trusted sites and, pretty much lock it down if we had to? We would use group policy when we want, but it would have to been done locally, if anything. But with this actually ADMX file, it allows us to actually do it via group policy. So I will provide the links, but what I have went ahead and done so far is actually download the Google Chrome standalone enterprise MSI, so that when we create our package and deploy it out to our machines, we'll have the version that's recommended for actually deploying to enterprise users. And we also went ahead and found the ADMX files, which was supplied, and I'll supply those links, that actually host the files that we're going to need to import into our Active Domain policy definition store. So what I'll go ahead and do first and foremost is actually go ahead and extract this file to my desktop on my host machine. And we're going to go ahead and navigate it real quick just so we can get familiar with the layout. Obviously inside you have 3 directory folders, and we're going to actually concentrate on the Windows one. And as you can see, you have an ADM file location directory, and you actually have an ADMX. So the difference between the ADM and the ADMX is that ADM is usually for XP and before when it comes to operating system and group policy management. So if you was going to deploy this out and you needed to actually make sure that the net was over the XP machines, if you still had those in their environment, then you will want to use ADM. ADMX is for Windows 2008, Windows Vista, Windows 7 and higher. So if you only had those particular versions of the operating system in your environment, those will be definitely handled by the ADMX file. If you had a combination of XP and the others, then you would want to use the ADM to cover your bases. ADMX is newer. It allows you to do a little bit more things. So that's why you would use it over the ADM. In our ADMX folder here, we have a lot of other directories, as you can see, and these are actually directories of language packs or language ADML files that when we actually import this into our Active Directory domain for policy and configuration, that Active Directory knows what language that we would prefer to use when it comes to actually configuring that configuration. Beneath all those directories, you can see that we have a chrome.admx file. And the language file that we're going to be using when we import is going to be the US. And as you can see there, it's chrome.adml. The ADMX file is actually neutral when it comes to language. So as you import that in situations you import it, it actually allows you to have a neutral language. And if you had different domains, I guess in different segments of the world, and they were trusted sites, the language barrier wouldn't actually apply. They would be able to configure in their own language that file based on the settings and language setup of their particular domain and their sites. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and copy this folder that we copied down to our host machine up to our Windows server. So now we have our ADMX files. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is open up the Group Policy Manager. And what we're going to do is just edit a group policy we already have open, just so we can look at the policies and confirm that we don't have any Google configurations currently available. This is going to be a computer configuration because it's going to apply to systems, obviously. So we don't have any Google Chrome administrative templates that are loaded by default. So in order to actually import those particular ADMX files, all we need to do is actually copy that ADMX file and the language ADML file to their proper locations on the server. That location is our system root policy definitions folder. So I brought up that folder, and as you can see, there are tons of ADMX files already located in here. These are already imported and negotiable configurations for Active Directory currently. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is go ahead and find my ADMX file, and I'm going to copy that over, get out the way. Okay, we're going to copy that over to the ADMX Windows Policy Definitions folder, and it's imported. We're halfway done. Now, if you forget to actually copy over the ADML file into the proper location, you're going to get an error message. And I wanted to actually display that error message real quick so that people are aware of it in case you guys ever come across it, that you guys know what it's being caused by. When you try to open up and expand the policy directory, you get an error message saying that administrative templates encountered an error while parsing. That's because we didn't copy our ADML file into the proper directory. So what I'll go ahead and do is close those boxes, close our Group Policy Management window, and I'm going to navigate up to our English US folder in our Windows directory that we went ahead and opened up. So again, it's our system root folder. It's in the Windows folder, the policy definition subfolder. And what we're going to do is find our English US folder that's in that folder. It's already there. And you can see that the ADML files associated with the ADMXs that are already installed are already located here. So what we're going to go ahead and do is copy our English language Chrome.adml, and we're going to paste it here. We're going to confirm that it's installed. We have it there. And what we're going to do is go ahead and open up our Group Policy Manager editor again. Again, we're just going to edit one that's already open instead of creating a new one, because we're going to do this in a separate video. We're going to open up administrative templates. And as you can see, we have a new folder here, directory for Google. If you go ahead and open that up, you can again see that we have settings, which will allow us to configure our Google Chrome installation in our environment. And it gives you a great list of actual features and policies that you can implement to make sure that your Google Chrome and your browser is secured, that you're customizing it to do what you want it to do, and you're making sure that the users are protected, not only from outsiders, but from themselves. There's a lot of settings in here, and I look forward to being able to go through some of these in our up-and-coming videos when we actually want to deploy this via SCCM and make sure that the group policies that we set actually are able to, navigate down into our actual machines on our network and actually apply. So this has been TechJax. This is how to install the ADMX file so that you can configure new templates and new configuration policies with not inherent or not previously by default embedded configurations in Active Directory. See you next time.